Well, I want to thank everybody for sending in so many questions. I had a lot of questions come in. And so I'm going to go over them and get started right now. So, Bob, can you hand me those questions? Yeah. Thanks. A lot of emails came in. A lot of duplicate questions, but we'll deal with that. So anyway, thank you for doing that, and I want to remind you again, I'll be here every week, so email me more if there'll be more questions come up as we go along. So let me look through these. Somebody's been to Maestro Day. I've been to Maestro Day, and I remember you used to say, "Don't ask me anything heavy. What's the deal?" Well, I was 50 years old back then, and I've gotten older and wiser, and you can. I didn't have the Book of Art before, so you can ask me heavy stuff now. So here's one. DV, let's see, DV in San Diego. He wants to know what kind of tea I drink. By the way, Bob, give me my tea. Thanks. Wants to know what kind of tea I drink. Okay, Dan. You wouldn't believe it, but there is something in the Book of Art about tea. So I'll look that up. We'll start with that one. Here it is. This is in the Book of Art about tea. Artists working in Western cultures tend to use coffee as their drink of choice. I know that's what I did. When I started out 46 years ago, I drank mostly coffee for 40-some years. Actually, the first few years I drank espresso, and lots of it, and I cut back, and it's only recently I've been drinking green tea. Okay. Artists working in Western cultures tend to use coffee as their drink of choice. That may account for the wild, fluctuating examples of their artwork throughout the centuries. Could be. The beverage of choice used by artists in Eastern cultures, such as China and Japan, is tea. This is reflected in the gentle, harmonious paintings they produce. The tea that I drink is sencha tea, which is a Japanese tea. And I drink a lot of it these days. I do still drink a little coffee, but mostly tea. Okay, the Book of Art goes on. One cannot be with the tea and produce harsh, violent paintings. The calmness associated with tea, especially green tea, manifests itself in the artist's painting and subject selection. Now, I'm not actually with the tea, because that's tea ceremony stuff, and I don't take it quite that serious, but I do drink a lot of tea. And my paintings probably don't reflect that Chinese subtlety yet, but maybe I'll get there someday. One who drinks green tea should expect to produce small, subtle, gentle works of art with no shocking or otherwise harsh lines of color. Well, maybe that's coming down the line for me. On the other hand, coffee acts as a stimulus to the creative part of the brain, in which case it may be used for the production of large, multifaceted, color-intense art projects. So, I guess it's up to you what you drink and what kind of projects you're working on, but from a health point of view, I think green tea is better than coffee. I still drink a little bit, not much. So let's see if I got... That answers your question, Dan. Okay, so let's see what else we've got here. What's that, Bob? Yeah, okay. Yeah, it looks like there's probably more than one. There's a number of questions on politics. and the Book of Art does discuss politics in several different places. But maybe I should answer, because this is a political season. Let me get, without going through any more of these. Let me answer this one from Jim R. in San Diego. He wants to know what the Book of Art says about politics. Okay. All right. It says there's different sections on politics. I think this one here might work best. Nothing raises the passions more than politics. When passions are raised, clear thinking is impaired. When clear thinking is impaired, one is no longer in harmony. When one is no longer in harmony, the door is open for mischief to enter the heart. When mischief enters the heart, one can no longer stay on the righteous path of true art. When one is no longer on the righteous path of true art, all art suffers. So it's really up to you. If you want to get involved in politics, you've got to learn to keep your passion under control. You know, don't lose sight of the big picture. You know, politicians come and go. Things go up and down, but art has got to be steady. You remember that little graph I showed you last week? You've got to do as much as you can in that little point of time that you have in order to catapult your work up into the superior art section. So, get involved you must, but as it says here, when passions are raised, clear thinking is impaired, and that's true. So when you get very passionate, you start to lose your direction. A true artist should never be affected by any political climate, be it positive or negative. An artist aspires to do something higher. So that's one of the things the Book of Art says about politics. So that's about all the time we have today, actually. So I'm going to have to I'll go through these questions, and I want you to send in more questions again to MaestroGaxiola at AOL.com. Send in your questions. Email me your questions, and I'll add them to this stack, and I'll try to go through them and put the same kind of questions together, and we'll go over them next week. So come back next week. Email me at MaestroGaxiola@AOL.com. Go to my website, MaestroGaxiola.com, and I'll see you next week.